Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who did just as much to win HOH tonight as Christmas did. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Big Brother recap eviction night number 4. Boy, in these eviction nights, that you keep getting so close. You're so close to something that you want to see happen, and then they just rip it away from you. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. It's wish it was a happier story at this hour, but with the Big Brother basement opening up and a lot of voices in Christmas's ears, who knows what the future could hold. But we're here to talk about it. We got a great panel with us here tonight. Of course, that she was sorely missed on the LFC roundtable the other night, but it went so well that we asked her just to write in all of her takes about tonight's episode. But luckily, we were able to get her here instead last minute. Here is Melissa Deni. Melissa, how are you?
I normally would say I'm doing great, but I don't know if I feel so great right now. I felt like I literally was shaking the whole HOH competition. I was like, oh my God. And I started off kind of like, okay, we're not going to get a good result. We're going to be upset. So just like, whatever, I'm going to deal with it. But then like, as we got closer and closer and Day was doing like so well and people were getting out left and right, I was like, okay, all right, this is happening. And then Day puts in her answer. She looks so confident. I was like, she's got this. She knows it. She's got this because I can't look
ready
at the
to
pictures.
Solve the puzzle.
Yeah, like I can't look at the pictures and like calculate it myself. So I just have to go off of their expressions as to whether they look confident or not. And this is what we get. So, you know what? It could still be very exciting. I have no idea what she's going to do, but it basically depends on what people tell her to do. So
okay, all right, we'll talk about it here tonight. Good to have you here, Melissa. All right, back with us. Very excited always to talk with one of the co-hosts from the Big Brother B&B and so much more. The great Liana Boraas is here. Liana, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Rob. Julie may have told us to leave judgment at the door, but don't worry. I have contactless delivery. I picked up my judgment, and I'm ready to spill it all here.
All right. Happy to have you back with us tonight. And also a newcomer. Here he is. He's ready to go. He has a button shirt, and that is not the norm here for this man. It's Josh Williams. Josh, how are you?
Well, hi, everybody. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Liana. Thank you, Melissa.
What a great shirt. What a great shirt.
Thank you.
It looks like the Saved by the Bell opening credits.
I was actually going for that, honestly. I had a bell, too, but then I lost it last minute. But I'm going to try to find it for you. But listen, as happy as I wanted to be, I look like Boba the Fool after this results. And, ciao. Let's hope that this week doesn't go the way that the other previous weeks went for the second place HOH runners.
Yes, yeah, I know. It's these people that got the close calls. It did not go great. We'll take your questions and much more, and update anything that's coming in from the live feeds here as we are live here tonight on eviction night. We will have an exit interview with Kaysar in the morning, so be on the lookout for that coming up. See what Kaysar has to say. Also, we'll check out what Kaysar had to say in extended interview with Julie Chen Moonves, and we'll talk about Kaysar's interview with Julie. But I guess I don't know. It was a night where we've talked all week about the wall yeller, and that storyline was got the purple edit. No wall yeller in sight, Melissa, but it was Ian who was given sort of the mastermind edit tonight.
Definitely. I thought it was interesting that they didn't include the wall yeller. Like, okay, so I knew they weren't going to include the wall yeller. We all knew it because that's the way it's been, in the more recent seasons. But I saw a clip, and, obviously this is a long time ago, but from Big Brother 1 where there was a wall yeller and they showed the wall yeller. It was part of like the storyline of the episode. And they talked about like, what the ramifications were, and then they even showed them being like, okay, come inside, house guests and stuff like that. They even put like subtitles for the wall yeller. So it was like,
this is in season 1.
Yeah, I mean, not that season 1 is like anything like the current season, but it just was interesting to me how like they used to acknowledge when things like that would happen, and now it's like, this didn't happen, these house guests are geniuses. Like it's interesting. But I do have to say that I really liked the segment on the show today where it showed Ian talking, and then it showed, you know, Ian and Bailey talking, and then Ian talking to Kaysar, and it was kind of just like this telephone of figuring things out. And I feel like it made for really compelling TV.
Now, it made for a compelling night of television, but Liana, will any of this matter?
Well, that's a good question, right? Because we immediately go to the HOH comp. It's a knockout comp, and we see Kevin versus Ian as the first pair, which of course is what we're going to see here. Because I think that's where a lot of us were putting our hopes on, especially Ian winning HOH. Yep. And obviously he goes out first, which is not the most exciting.
Yeah. I know it was frustrating, Josh, to see. I think a lot of people were really feeling an Ian HOH coming up here tonight. And then Ian buzzes in and is wrong on the first question.
Absolutely. You know, they had the opportunity to literally just put, you know, let's put Cody and Danny right there. You know, just let's start it off that way. But, you know, you had to start off with the worst case scenario, putting the two people who probably would have done what we needed to happen and put up the core and shake a lot of things up, and one of them goes home first. I do really like the fact that they had set up, instead of telling the fact that the wall yeller was there, they said that Ian talked to Kaysar and got the information, and then went to Kaysar and told him the information that he got from Kaysar. Y'all notice that?
Oh, was that so? That's what Julie was saying with the dead man talking, dead man walking, kind of like JC Seuss going all in with the rhymes. That's what it was?
It was exactly that. And I was like, what?
That is interesting, because it's like, yeah, they showed the edit where it was like, okay, Ian or Kaysar told Ian all this information, but Ian said he was playing dumb. Then he finds out this information and goes to Kaysar and is like, okay, here's what's going on. It's like, that doesn't quite make sense. It's like, you didn't discover it. Like, you didn't talk to Kaysar, play dumb, and then discover it elsewhere. It was like the wall yeller, and then there was like all these like intricate like things that made him possibly, I mean, it's totally possible that yes, he's just been sitting there with all this information, like stewing, just not telling anyone about it. But like certain things that he would say and certain people he'd reveal stuff to did make it seem like he didn't really have a great read on this house until more recently. And even then there's like some parts that he doesn't quite know. But I get people are saying like, it's not accurate. Like Ian's not like so smart. He doesn't know everything, but it's like, look, this is the best way to show it on TV. What else are they going to do? Like, I mean, you've got to have, for the casual fans, you've got to have someone to root for. And if you think that Ian and Kevin and those guys are going to like form some insurgents or whatever, like, and go against the power people, that is something rootable. So I get why they would make this sort of edit rather than these weird, like, okay, Tyler is like not so into Danny, and so he talks to so-and-so but gives a tidbit of information, and then Kaysar gives a tidbit of information. It's like, no, it makes it easier.
I mean, plus Ian didn't even know that Memphis was running the entire house, so clearly his reads are wrong.
Yes.
Why is Julie stuck on that?
Yeah, no idea.
She's like, and you didn't know.
They already had the graphic. They already had the graphic
look.
with Memphis in it. They're not going to make a new graphic to showcase there.
God.
But they gave us this whole big Ian segment to sort of like go that ended with Ian saying to Kaysar, like, well, maybe you could really, you know, you're going out the door anyway. Maybe you could really shake things up. What do you think of that? That's sort of like the person that's like, yeah, so I heard your diagnosis. Do you think you could put me in your will if you could? That would be great.
I hated that they did that. I like hated that everybody was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to try and help you at all. Like, you're kind of a lost cause. So all I'm going to do is ask you to help me. And then people were getting upset when Kaysar was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. I mean, he did end up doing it, but he was like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. It's like, they're like, wow, he doesn't think he owes us anything. It's like, yeah, because he doesn't. Like, you guys have done nothing for him. No one wanted to talk with him. No one wanted to work with him. You just wanted to vote him out. And now look, you're asking for something.
Well, and it was funny because, you know, when Ian went to Kaysar to ask about this, Kaysar was like, okay, but is this going to help me in any way?
No.
He was so hardcore about it too. He was like, yeah, you're not getting the votes. Honestly. Like, there's no choice for you.
You're terminal. I'm sorry.
Hey, you could blow up the house and, you know, help all of us out, you know? Give us who do you want to win this game.
I have to say, though, I'm so glad Kaysar did a speech. I didn't think he was going to. I really thought he was just kind of going to, like, especially when he starts it out like, I love everybody in the house.
Well, here, I have it. Let's listen to what Kaysar has to say. Okay, here was Kaysar. Let's stop, and then let's talk about, okay, on a scale of, like, is Kaysar hot or cold here with all of his proclamations? Okay.
When it comes to gameplay and strategy, I think you guys all suck.
Dead on.
Yeah, totally right.
Nailed it.
Hot.
Nailed it.
Hot,
So
super hot, burning.
He's on it. Call these all-stars out, please, Kaysar.
Cody and Nicole have been running this house since day one.
Okay, all right. Cody and Nicole have running the house since day one.
It depends how you see it. Like, I feel like you could argue that, but I feel like I like the narrative. I like that they're putting that out there, and I like that it's like, okay, we've got it. Those two have got to go. Like, they're the problem. Like, so I'm okay with it.
Yeah. We're okay with it.
Like, yeah, let's do it.
But it's not really the case. Okay. All right.
And they have a secret alliance that's going to take them all the way to the end.
Again,
Not
really.
No.
Yeah.
Not
I don't
really.
know if it'll take them all the way to the
Okay.
end.
Icy cold. Okay.
Meanwhile, the guys have an alliance. Enzo, I already knew when we were talking, with David and Tyler, because it was obvious.
Guys have an alliance.
I hate that he brought David into it. I feel like if he had just said, like, the guys have an alliance, like, Enzo, I already knew. Like, if he had just stopped there, I would have been like, okay, now they're scared. Like, he knows that about, Cody and Enzo and Tyler. But then he, like, first says David, and everyone's like, and then you saw Tyler's face too when he, like, pointed out, like, David and then Tyler, and Tyler was like, no, like, okay, he doesn't know anything. And so that kind of, like, blew it, because it's like, David has nothing to do with this. Like, maybe at one point Tyler wanted to work with David, but now that's nothing. Like, David's not some power player.
So sort of so-so. Some of the guys have an alliance, but I wouldn't call it a guys alliance.
Yeah.
Right, because, Cody, Tyler, and Enzo do have the triple threat, as we now know. So I guess if that's the guys alliance that he's talking about, but David is in the basement compared to them.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
That basement is going to be very triggering for David. They're going to send David down that basement in the pitch dark. That is not. He is not going to like that.
It's all.
He's
yeah,
going to freak out.
I hope he just refused to even try the competition.
No, I'm not going in there. Yeah.
You
I feel
can
like
pass.
He might go down that basement. We might never see him again.
For speeches like that, where you're like, I'm going to blow up everybody's game, I'm going to call everyone out. Like, unless you're absolutely certain on the exact people involved, it's like, it's a little bit better to just keep it a little vague. And then everyone can think that everyone is a problem, rather than like, well, I know everything that's going on in this house.
Right.
And then the second you call out the wrong person, it's like, oh, okay, so you don't know what's going on in the house.
Yeah, it would be very easy to sort of like walk into the crime scene and then say, and the killer was Cody, as opposed to sort of like, all right, let me tell you how the whole thing happened,
the whole
and then
murder.
get every single thing right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not exactly Daniel Craig in Knives Out here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here we go.
No. He took the Sarah Koenig approach. It was like every detail out on the board. We need to go through everything.
All right, there's more.
And then the last alliance, of course, Danny and Nicole and Cody. Cody finds himself in this love triangle.
Whoa.
My favorite part, hands down.
Why did he have to say it was a love triangle? That's not even accurate.
Yeah, Danny's face was like, what? No, there's no love. There's no love triangle.
It took Nicole a couple of tries and a couple of guys. So, like, just add one more love triangle into it, right?
Add a
makes
girl
sense.
in the
with a
mix.
girl, yeah.
Yeah.
With a girl, She's shooting for the married people, the couple.
I would never do that. Okay.
But no one's willing to take a shot. So here I am sitting around on the block. So if you guys want to play the game, All Stars, or if you want to have a reunion and sit around and maybe play charades, then keep things the same. If you want to play All Stars, then keep me here, and we'll continue to play. I hope I have your vote, Cody.
Oh, you got it, buddy.
Thank you.
I thought if I was going to tweak that a little bit, maybe like say the names of like the people that like that you need to vote. Like if you can get the 6, put out the 6 names. Like, hey, it's you. Hey, look, you guys are going to lose next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the issue with naming so many people is that limits the people whose votes you can get, you know? So if you're going to call out Cody and Nicole and Danny, you know, you're really running through the list.
What do you think, Liana? He was just doing a solid for Ian?
Yeah, it was all for his buddy Ian. Maybe that's what he was going for there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like, Julie asked him, like, you know, did you really think you were going to change things and get votes? And it's like, no, like this is old school style play of Big Brother. That's like all I kept thinking about when this was going on was like, you don't just leave and say like, you know, thank you so much. What a great time. Like, you know, you guys are my friends for life. You like make something of your like last remaining time. Change, like throw a bomb in there, like change up the game a little bit. Like you don't just leave, you know. And the thing is that what I really liked about Kaysar's speech is that it wasn't like vicious or vindictive or anything like that. It was literally like,
it was calm.
Look, like, yeah, it was like, look, I love all you guys as people, but like, here's the deal of what's going on in the house. And there's going to be a problem coming up for all you outsiders. Like, but I love you guys anyway. Like, you know, it's like, it wasn't, I'm just going to like insult everybody who's sitting there or anything like that. And I think that's the way you got to do it is like, keep the game and the personal totally separate.
But Josh, he did make some people mad.
Absolutely. Very mad. They were like saying he was disrespectful.
Okay. First, Cody is up and he has to go and vote. Here is Cody going to go and vote against Kaysar.
Hello, Cody.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
Mr. Pre-Jury himself, the all-star of all all-stars, Kaysar.
How dare you, Cody? How dare you call him that Mr. Pre-Jury, the all-star himself? Because Kaysar, in 3 times making a pre-jury, is far more memorable of a Big Brother house guest than Cody, and more of an all-star than Cody Calafiore will ever be.
Cody who?
Yeah.
Oh, please. Listen, don't be coming for no Kaysar right now just because you're voting for him. You're voting him out. You think you're all good and high and mighty. Well, sir, listen. You may get 3rd place. You may even get 2nd, but you're not getting votes. No, you're
Mr.
not.
Pre-jury. Right. How dare you, Cody?
It's just envious, you know. It's just like he gets a title. Cody wants a sash also. He wants to be wearing the, you know, Mr. Big Brother sash. Kaysar gets the Mr. Pre-Jury one. I don't know. I'm sure that's where it's coming from.
Yeah. And then Danny Briones was not happy either. She votes for Kaysar.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
Never said a bad word about him until now. Disrespectful and tasteless. I vote to evict Kaysar.
Disrespectful and tasteless.
That is the exact opposite of Kaysar.
Right?
That's honestly like
no one ever about Kaysar.
You can't describe. Like, you can't get upset. That's the problem. Is like that. His whole speech was game related. He didn't insult anybody. Maybe like the love triangle thing, but he wasn't being like serious that it was a love triangle, like unless you took it that way. But other than that, like nothing was personal. He made sure to like tell everyone this is just game. And maybe she's upset that he blew up her game a bit, but like, I mean, that's not disrespectful or tasteless. So
yeah, the way that Kaysar went about his speech is you could take that seriously and actually absorb his information. You know, it's not coming from any envious spot. He's just trying to help a lot of people maneuver this game to make sure that this game changes. As for them, when they were attacking him, all they used were insults and trying to attack him as a person. And listen, that's not going to benefit. That's not going to make you look good, and it's not going to benefit your game when people see this. You know. So.
Also, when Danny's like, "I've never said a bad word about Kaysar," it's like. That is the biggest lie I've ever heard. Like, you have been talking bad about Kaysar this entire time.
Well, sure, that's the thing. She was lying throughout the whole speech. She never said a bad word about Kaysar. Lie. Kaysar was tasteless and disrespectful. Lie. So that was just the theme of the whole speech. I just don't understand why Danny would think that this is a good idea anyway. You know that America loves Janelle. You know that America loves Kaysar. Why are you going to call him disrespectful and tasteless during your vote? It's just a bad choice.
Yes.
He put her in a love triangle.
Yeah. I guess if Kaysar's speech was disrespectful and tasteless, I guess luckily there was one respectful and tasteful speech that was delivered, and it's by the woman who's our new HOH. Should we hear this amazing speech from tonight? One of the all-time greats.
I mean, when Melissa was talking earlier about how you want to give a speech, go out with a bang, I thought actually this is the speech that she was referring to because, wow, it must have taken a lot of creative writing for her to get this.
So great. So great. Let's listen to this.
Good evening, Julie. Thank you, CBS. I love you, family, and to my Big Brother house guests. It's eviction day, and I campaign that you vote the HOH way.
It's eviction day, and I campaign that you vote the HOH way.
Is she predicting the future at this point?
I don't know. I hope it's not eviction day. Yeah.
What does it even mean, vote the HOH way? Like, it's just like,
Respect Enzo's wishes. Okay.
Yeah.
For my work here is not done. I still have yet to deliver all of my competition fun.
I have yet to deliver all my competition. Well, I guess it was a a premonition.
That's right. It was the prediction.
Yes.
Get out the mess.
And Liana, we know Christmas wins HOH by doing nothing. That's her move.
That's how
her classic Christmas move.
that
Everybody else just makes mistakes.
It's a Christmas miracle. She never had to run in that one HOH comp. She never had to hit the button once in this HOH comp.
She's good at it.
That's honestly
Talent.
the way I realize that is the best way to win that comp is to not try and play. Like, don't buzz in. Don't answer the question, because if you buzz in, you have to get the answer right. If you don't buzz in, you have 2 chances, like 2 out of 3 chances to get it right, because only 1 out of 3 will be right.
But you are playing with fire, because if the other person doesn't buzz in, you're both eliminated.
Oh, really?
Is that the case?
Yep.
Yes, you said nobody buzzes in.
Well, even so, I feel like it's like.
But take your time. Take your time and
take your time.
And get it right.
Yeah, because that's the other thing is like, okay, fine. If you have to buzz in at some point, if both of the people are like, well, I'm not buzzing in, then at least you have time to count.
Yeah.
Rather than just like, okay, like I'm just gonna guess.
There's no rush. And then she closes it out with.
So head into the diary room, and when Julie asks, "What do you say?" I cast my vote to have this Christmas joy.
No, you don't. That's not even what you say. You don't. I want Julie. I cast my vote for Christmas to stay. Don't say that. That's not even what you say.
You can leave it at I cast my vote to. I cast my votes for Christmas. Just leave it right there. Just have everybody vote for Christmas. I would have been down for that.
We're gonna end up with a BB Can situation, wrong, or Meta World Peace voting for the wrong person. That's how that happens.
Yeah. All right. Kaysar is going to come out of the house and then is going to get the chance to talk to Julie, and has a nice chat with Julie. And at one point, though, Julie really throws Kaysar for a big loop.
Kaysar, that is exactly why the public voted you back in.
Oh my God.
15 years ago. Back then. Oh, geez. No, I'm not saying go back in. Go back in, please. No. But the fact that your heart, I'm kidding.
He was like, oh my God.
What?
So bad.
I was shocked too. I'm like, huh? What? Where was I at?
I'm kidding.
That was my favorite part. Okay, please don't send me back in there. Oh dear God! Please don't make me go talk to those people.
His face. Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. Josh, that was a weird way for her to set up that, and that is exactly why the public voted you back in. Well, 15 years ago.
She obviously had her facts written. Like, she was a very big Kaysar fan, and she remembers even that moment. So she probably was telling him from a fan's perspective, like, hey, you're a great person. Remember 15 years ago? She forgot to mention the 15 years ago first.
Yeah. Did the fans vote him back in BB6, or they voted him back in BB7?
No,
or both?
Well, yeah, I guess
there was a vote in BB7.
BB6 got voted back in, and then BB7
it was weird. There were producer picks, and then you were also voting for people. So I don't remember if
Kaysar was voted in, but that's why all of BB6, well, not all of them, but BB6 contingency was put back in because they had just happened. Public was like, we want them to get in. So
Julie is going to have an extended interview with Kaysar. She gave out the link. It's cbs.com/BB Rewind. Liana, why does that make sense?
I'm sorry. You want me to put logic to this?
That's the name of their after show. Okay.
Oh, yeah. They've been doing some interviews with house guests. They did actually one with Kat a couple weeks ago, and I think they're calling that whole series BB Rewind. So I think that's what it is.
Because it all makes sense because Julie teased it last week.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. And remember, be kind.
Rewind. That's what it is.
Yeah, and check out BB Rewind. I think that is what she was going for. No, but Julie saying the thing to Kaysar just reminded me of when she interviewed Janelle. It was like, do you hear that sound? Those are your fans cheering. It was in the same vein, I think.
I feel like I get that Julie's trying to like bring up past memories, like to like kind of like offset the pain of being evicted this time and be like, look, like you've always been remember when you did this and that last season, that's why we love you. But I feel like it's just like it's not working. Every time she does it, it's like it feels weird, especially when like Keisha got voted out and she was like, you were a fan favorite or whatever. It's like, okay, but what about now? Now I'm not. Like, okay, I don't know. It just I don't like.
She doesn't have a finger on the pulse.
I think it's the lack of a audience that's causing her jokes to, or her compliments to come a little bit less. Like it's coming a little off-putting. Without claps, you notice there's a lot more mess ups. These
the claps make you think like, oh, okay, we all agree with this. Okay, cool. Like,
exactly.
Otherwise, it's just like, okay, thanks, Julie. Like this is very intimate.
So we saw Kaysar pull out the FBI hat on the block. Had we seen that on the feeds yet? Was
I
he
don't
saving
remember seeing it.
He's always wearing hats.
Okay, but I don't think he had that hat. I think people seemed like they were really pumped up to see the throwback Kaysar hat.
I love that.
Julie asked Kaysar about, okay, did you come back to be able to talk about the state of the world? Was that really why you came back? Kaysar seemed to think that it was going to be an issue where he said, okay, all right, the producers are going to kill me. I didn't come back for the money.
Oh my God, you didn't? You're a successful business person and you didn't want to come back?
Isn't that Kaysar's whole thing that he cares about making a difference, and that did anybody think like Kaysar was just back for the Benjamins?
I thought when he has set up that sentence, I thought he was going to say like, hey, I didn't, the producers are going to hate me. I didn't come back for the money. I came back to change modern day Big Brother. And all their racist
and I
issues.
Failed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the sentence was going in.
Yeah.
And, Julie Chen cut him off.
Yeah. But in that way, Kaysar can declare victory, where the stuff that he did give us, we got classic Kaysar in terms of the impact that he had on the season. And while he did not have an impact in the game, that he did give us several great moments on the live feeds and on the TV show where he was able to put a stamp on the season and to use this platform for good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like he's one of those players that came back. I feel like a lot of players, well, I don't know about a lot, but some of the players who are coming back are for sure leaving, in my opinion, with like their legacies tainted a bit. Like at this point, if they get out now, maybe they'll turn things around. Who knows? But like there are some people who it's like, okay, they're back. We were excited to see them. Now we're not so excited. But I feel like Kaysar is one of the few, and same with Janelle, that like everyone's just as like gung-ho about them as they were prior to this season. So I feel like Kaysar did a great job. He didn't have much of a chance, but like that's not his fault. I think there were some, missteps along the way where it's like, after Janelle got out, I really did think that he could have just laid low and found a way to kind of blend back in now that he's no longer like the duo threat that he was as Jacer. But it didn't happen. But you know what? I love Kaysar, and this season just solidifies that. He's such an amazing person, and I do think he's a really smart game player. It's just that no one wanted to play with him.
Yeah.
I think from a human perspective also, it was just so great that Big Brother aired a number of these segments. And so we actually got to see that. And I am so excited for him when he gets out of the house and he's able to see these segments and to know that, yes, it wasn't just on the live feeds. These segments were actually aired on primetime television. I think that that's really going to be impactful for him. And I'm hoping that this actually has some change moving forward.
Yeah, and I hope that he's able to find a platform outside of the house as well, where that he had sort of been off the grid for some time. It'd be great to have him as part of this Big Brother universe, where we can definitely use his, his positivity and his outlook on things. Okay. Speaking of positivity and outlook, Julie had another message for us tonight to close the show. She's been trying out these different. It's been weird because 2 weeks in a row she had like a very similar one. She has a completely new direction tonight that she tells us to.
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Moonves. And remember, leave judgment at the door.
Leave judgment at the door?
Interesting.
Do you think that's referring to the Big Brother house? Like leave judgment outside of the Big Brother house, or is this more in general?
Is this for us? If anything, she should have said that. She should have said that at night one to the house guests when they were going into the house. Like, hey, also please do us a favor. Like, leave judgment at the door, okay?
No, they're leaving it in the Big Brother house now, and they're coming out of the Big Brother house, and they're leaving it inside the Big Brother house.
Leave it in the house.
Yeah, they're leaving the judgment at the door of the house when they come
I don't know.
The direction wrong.
I think she's just Googling daily quotes. You know? Like, what quote do I want to say today? She got 2 in a row. That's why it worked the first time. And now it's leaving judgment. Next week, you guys, we're going to learn about free falling.
Oh, that's what I think we did a draft on the RHAP B&B. We were like, what are the phrases that Julie's going to use? A penny saved is a penny earned, Julie. Like, is that what we're going to get next? So now that we're getting more of them, obviously we're expanding out.
And remember, a stitch in time saves 9. I'm Julie Chen Moonves.
I always miss those when she says those, because like the second the episode's over, I'm like, okay, all right, we're done. Like, turn it off. But so I never hear these when she
You're
says
like
them.
Liana with SEAL Team.
Everybody's talking about it, and I'm like, when did she say that? And now I've started to understand it's like way at the tail end. But like, I don't know. I always miss it. I always turn it off by that point. So she's not giving me any advice, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, if you shoot for the moon, you'll land them on the stars, Melissa. So that's what we just gotta keep looking forward.
Yeah. You know what? A bird in the hand's worth 2 in the bush. So
exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Oh boy. All right. So let's talk about what Christmas might have in store. Josh, do you have any sense of what Christmas could be thinking, or who are the key people that could be in her ear?
Absolutely, you guys. So everybody's been saying this this time around, Christmas changed. She's like a better person. No, let me tell you guys, Christmas is the definition of a follower. Anytime somebody has an opinion, it becomes Christmas opinion. In fact, I remember watching live feeds one time where she would say, I like Bay. Then Nicole walks in, says Bay and Day need to go. Exactly. Christmas said. So with that being said, I think it's whoever gets inside Christmas ear first is either Nicole is going to definitely tell her to put Bay and Day up. Tyler's probably going to tell her to put David and Ian up. What will she do? I don't think she would necessarily go with Ian because Ian is the person she saved that one time, and she's probably going to continue to nurture that relationship. So I can see her putting a combination of David and Kevin. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to take that information and let's take a look at going back to the face-off competition of who put whom up and take a look. Because I think that's a real truth serum where we get to see who are the people you really want to target. Because I think that there might be some residual hurt feelings after that. We saw Ian versus Kevin in the first round. Ian loses. Do we think is it possible could Ian have thrown this?
No, I don't think. No,
I saw that in the chat.
Really
I question it. I question if that was the case. So because that we know Ian was worked up. Okay, so Kevin ends up. He said Kevin's like, I don't know what to do. I'm just still freaked out. Okay, Kevin. Sorry, Nicole and Cody. He ends up saying this is news to me. What is going on?
I mean, I thought he played that actually pretty well, just because
they said it.
I don't know if anybody buys it, but at the same time, it's like he can use that as an excuse. Like, look, I just got all this information. Kaysar said, you guys are running the house. Like, I don't really know what's going on because no one's really involving me. So like, I just threw you guys up there just because like Kaysar had just said it and I didn't know.
Okay. All right. Cody ends up winning. And then he ends up putting, Cody actually was pretty good at this, that he ends up putting Kevin and Davon. And Liana, I thought it was like an assertive, like Kevin and Davon. He was pissed.
Oh,
This
yeah.
was mad Cody.
I mean, you saw his face during Kaysar's eviction speech. He was riled up. He was ready to go. I think he felt like people were coming for him, coming for his wig. So he was ready to go after Davon and Kevin.
Do you guys think that's a mistake though? He put Kevin up with Davon, and aren't they like necessarily working together?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think that Day and Bay are going to not be happy about Cody putting them up because, putting Davon up because they're supposed to be in an alliance together. Exactly. Why would you put one person in your alliance and one person not in your alliance? You would put up two people not in your alliance, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
So I know Davon's going to read into that and be like, okay, Cody is not with me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kevin buzzes in. He's wrong. Davon wins her first battle. Sheep goes back. Cody and Memphis.
And so she puts Cody right back up. So I think she like totally was aware that like, okay, Cody's against me.
Exactly.
Put him up, you know?
I'm sure that like when Kaysar brought in that information that she probably was thinking, hey, like, is this real? I don't know. But once Cody put her up, that confirmed everything for her. That definitely what started the fire.
Yeah. Okay. So Cody buzzes in. He's wrong. Memphis gets to pick. He goes Danny and David. David buzzes in faster than any other person. Tell me, was this the throw?
I don't think David understands.
I don't even think Julie finished the question. David buzzes in.
He was due for a comp win. He just knew it in his heart.
He thought this was it.
So quick. He buzzed in so quick. It was so wrong.
I am surprised that Memphis put Danny up. I thought that they were working together. Am I like just totally missing that? I thought Memphis thought they were working together.
So you know how I have two theories. It's either the boys went into Memphis' ear and said, hey, like, we don't trust Danny, like that's the target for next week. And he probably did that. Or, he's trying to keep the committee very, very under wraps.
By like putting them up, it's like I was very surprised by that. I don't know. So that one's confusing. But I feel like, I mean, maybe Kaysar really got to Memphis. Like we don't know. Like maybe Memphis was like, wait a second. Like I didn't know that Danny was working separately with other people. But at the same time, like if I'm Memphis and Kaysar had been telling, well, now that I'm saying it out loud, it does kind of make sense. Like Kaysar we see in a segment where Kaysar is talking to Memphis and he says like, these people are working together. And then Memphis and the DR is like, yeah, they're working together, but they're also working with me too. So I'm cool with it. I'm just going to pretend like I don't understand it. So he knows that Kaysar has like a decent read on things. So then when Kaysar then reveals this additional stuff, like, okay, the people in your alliance are also working with other people. Maybe that does get to Memphis. Like maybe Memphis is like, wait, are they actually playing me? I'm a little confused. I don't know.
I mean, Memphis is also the person who didn't ever want to talk to his alliance members. So it's also possible that he was like, yeah, throw them up, whatever. We don't talk. It's fine.
Okay. Then we go to, all right. So Danny, Danny is up after she beats David, or David is wrong. She goes to Bay and Day.
Mm-hmm.
That is totally revealing, and I feel like you could see Davon and Bailey like look over at each other like, okay, like this is it, because they had just been told that Danny was going after them, and this just totally confirms it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this one and then Cody putting up Day. I think those are the two confirmations that definitely solidifies who is coming after Bay and Day in this house.
So here comes Davon. She's getting hot. Davon is right. She goes back. Danny and Memphis.
Memphis
Danny
hobbles on up there, still got that back
Danny
entry.
Buzzes in. She's wrong. He goes Tyler and Davon. Tyler ends up coming up for the first time. I think that this is a also good indicator of Tyler's positioning in the game. Nobody is putting up Tyler to play in this game.
Yeah, nobody's putting up Tyler. Nobody's putting up Christmas.
Yeah. Memphis had picked Tyler and Davon. Davon is right again. She moves on. Christmas and Memphis. Christmas walks up to the podium for the first time versus Memphis. And Memphis is wrong. And we say, okay, Davon, she's been up there so many times. She's hot. Get the hot hands. Christmas she's a newcomer to the game.
I really thought she had it. I thought those are the exact thoughts that went through my mind was like, Christmas hasn't played yet. Like she's going to like be overthinking like, okay, what's this and that? Davon's done it so many times and she's so good. Like she seems confident.
She was so confident. She was like,
hands
Julie-
were too hot.
Julie says to her, all right, are there more or less than 10 of the orange faces? And Davon buzzes in. She says, less. No, you're wrong. Christmas, you're the HOH.
And when
Orange
Davon
faces!
buzzed in, then she stood back just like totally confident, like,
Yeah, she was like,
yeah, I've got HOH.
just
And then
don't
she didn't get it. I was like, I thought she had it. Like I felt I couldn't sit during the competition, like near the end. I was walking around my computer, like, okay. It was bad.
Yeah, I watched that. No, I was like, yeah, it's so much more. It's so more. And then when she said less, she was convincing me. I'm like, oh, maybe I got it wrong. Maybe she got it. She got it.
I was trying to count along, and when I was like, oh no, did she get it wrong? And it was just like watching all of your hopes and dreams just fall in front of you.
And it came so close to. I just feel like it was like she just kept like when they kept putting her up. I was like, "There's no way."
No,
there's
recount.
no way.
Count it again, Julie. Count it again.
Yeah, Julie, you're wrong.
I was like,
please.
can you change it real quick? Come on, Dave. Come on, Julie. They're not paying attention.
Yeah. I stomped my foot on the floor so hard that I think I need the walking boot that Christmas had in Big Brother 19 now. I think I need the scooter. I think that one of the bones in my foot is broken now.
Look, I do have to say, like, okay, yes, Christmas is a follower, and we don't like followers, but in this situation, maybe that's a good thing. Like, I think that there's a possibility that because all those discussions were happening about how, okay, like, Danny's been playing us all, Nicole's playing us all, like, whatever, I think there is a chance that Tyler or Enzo or somebody gets in her ear. I mean, I think this is the perfect opportunity that Enzo was talking about last week, which is get somebody else to take the shot. This is the perfect person. He can convince Christmas to do anything.
Here's what we do on Thursday nights on this show. Thursday night is Thursday. Yes, this looks bad, but there's a couple different ways this could go where it won't be worst case scenario. That's what we do on Thursday.
I think this is not worst case scenario, to be fair. Like, I mean, out of all the people who could have won, obviously we want like, you know, Ian to get it because now he's been saying he wants to make a big move.
Sure.
We want like, you know, I feel like honestly, I would have been happy with Davon, but I don't even know if Davon would have made the right move. Yes. I mean, maybe now after this competition where she saw that she's a target, maybe she would. But I mean, going into this week, I wasn't super confident in it. So I do think that like, this could have been bad because we could have seen a situation where like, you know, Cody gets it and Cody doesn't seem to really want to target Danny or Nicole or anyone like that. We could have seen Danny get it. And then they're like, well, we can't take out a big target this week. Let's just go with one of the outsiders. Or like, you know, I just feel like we could have seen worse. This is not the worst case scenario.
No,
so
it's not the worst case scenario.
Up.
So as Josh said, Christmas is a follower. To me, this is a two-part HOH. Okay. Part one is done. The rest of the HOH competition is going to take place tonight on the feeds where it's who can get the Christmas and who can incept her with the idea of what their HOH actually should be.
Yeah. This is going to be very difficult because everybody has their own story to push. Problem is a lot more people have a similar story than not. Like Tyler, the person who's closest to Christmas, in his own eyes at least, has a narrative of wanting getting Danny out. The problem is the other allies of Christmas, Cody, Danny, Nicole, they all want Bay and Day out of this house. So it's going to be a lot of hard work, but Tyler, let's be real, you guys. Tyler was buddy with all of his HOHs his season. I think if anybody can do it.
And Enzo, factor Enzo into this too.
I really think after this past week, it seems to me like maybe I have the wrong read, but it seems to me that the people closest to Christmas are Tyler and Enzo. And I feel like both Tyler and Enzo were talking about going after a big target, but not doing it themselves. So I feel like this is their perfect situation. if they can get to Christmas. And I do think Christmas has a good relationship with them. I do think she wants to work with them. And so I think, I mean, she was willing to show her loyalty or whatever by going up on the block. Stupid.
Okay.
But, you know, that's
now,
something.
okay, Liana, let me hear me out on this. Could we be in for a week where Bailey and Davon are the nominees, but Danny is potentially a backdoor target?
That's entirely possible. I mean, this may be a Franken HOH where we're getting different pieces from different people's perspectives of what they want, because there's so many people in Christmas's ear. I do believe Christmas is closest to Tyler. There are things that she says to Tyler that solidify that they are buddy, they're one with each other. And I think that that is the person who is going to have the most sway over her HOH. Now, the question is how much does he try and push? Because Tyler has talked about, and Enzo, if one of the girls goes after Bay and Day, that's okay. We can get rid of Day because she is a little bit of a liability to our game. We prefer Bailey. Then that's something that we can do as well. So I definitely think that could be the situation. They're like, look, we'll let that happen. And then the HOH battle will continue, not just tonight on feeds, but throughout the rest of the week.
Okay.
I also could see a situation where in order to make everybody happy, they put up Danny and Davon, because I know Cody wants Davon out, and like they've all been talking like Danny and Davon are the problems. Like I could see a situation where they convince her to put both of them up, and then we're in for a little bit of trouble because we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it'll make for an exciting week, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Yeah, anybody could go.
But I mean, also thinking positively, we just had Janelle go and we just had Kaysar go. Okay, guys, it's going to get better. I promise.
It can't get worse than that, right?
Okay. So we don't know who's really going to call the shots in this week at the HOH. The other thing, okay, Thursday night, let's look at the 7-day sunny forecast. All right, the BB basement is opened up. Now, Josh, normally I don't like basements. They scare me. I don't want to be down in a basement. It's dark. That's where all the junk is down there. A bunch of stuff that I'm not crazy about in the basement. But in the BB basement, there are not one, not two, but 3 powers which are going to be potentially unlocked in the basement. Could we see perhaps the coup d'Avon?
That is best case scenario.
Yes.
Ultimate case scenario. I hope they go into her. They put her in that DR and say, "Hey, Davon, look at that corner right there. We walk into that room. You're gonna go into that corner. All right. Yeah. We're gonna give you an earbud. We're gonna tell you everything, and you're just gonna have to act like it. You're an actor, right? That's
3 powers potentially in the basement.
I mean, we could have another cloud power that Tyler will win, never have to use, and then try to use in his final 2 speech to convince people he could win. It's going to be very interesting to see the types of powers, because we have 3, right? And they're all coming out at the same time. So are we going to have things that are going to counteract one another? Are we going to have things that for sure operate independently of one another? When is this competition going to be played? I assume before nominations, because they want it for the Sunday episode. So that could also play into what the powers could be.
Yeah, I saw Brent in the chat kind of indicating that, like, there's a possibility. I mean, that it seems like it's going to be another 3-week thing, maybe, where it's like every week they get to compete, or you get to do the safety swap thing or whatever. I don't know. And then you get to pick, the winner gets to pick from the 3 powers, like they did, with the.
Yeah, I should have pulled the sound clip to say exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And so it's like, then you get to pick which one you want out of the 3, and then that's the power for that week. And then the next week you compete again, or not that person, but the other people compete again. I don't know. They're clearly going to give us more information because we don't really know anything, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it works.
So, Liana, we should assume at some point tomorrow the feeds will go down for the BB basement comp.
That's my assumption. And the way that it sounded also is that everyone was going to play, right? There's no swiping any passes in order to get the opportunity to play. And so if everyone is going to have to compete, that means feeds are probably going to be down, unfortunately, for a long time.
Okay.
Great.
Everybody competing in a dark room competition?
Well, we don't know. Are they going to put them all down there? Down with the like dejected bear that was just like laying down, or the weird squid looking thing? Or are they going to go round by round? You know, we don't know. Is this actually just a way to prevent any banner planes or wall yellers? We're just going to sequester them off into the basement. Perhaps that could be the reason. I don't know.
Okay. All right, let's bring in some questions about tonight's episode from our listeners. Every night, I'll tweet out the link to watch the podcast. And then if you want to reply with your questions for the episode, we'll take them here tonight, just like so. And here is Jennifer, who says, Jennifer Valenti, I think I went to high school with her. What is the over-under on the possibility of Tyler missing Christmas and we see Dani on the block? Or is her head too big now with 2 comp wins? I'm scared for Bay and Day. Yes. Is it possible that we could get the Christmas HOitis? HOH-itis, I should say.
HOitis.
HOitis.
Headitis.
Different, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. She, I don't really know. I mean, I don't remember. Did she win HOH her season?
Yes. Remember, she won in the
The
race.
running comp.
Oh, that was HOH.
Yeah, the competition everybody threw for her.
I always thought that was
Well, she
veto.
did nothing.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, like, I have no idea what to expect. I do think, I mean, if I have to just make a guess now, I do think that Tyler or Enzo or somebody will influence her HOH. I don't see her being like, everybody go away. I have it. I know what I'm doing. Like, I think she'll listen to people.
But wouldn't it be funny though if she does get like a big head about like I knew I was gonna beast out tonight and win that HOH. I knew I had it in me. That I told you I had to win this HOH, and I did exactly that.
She did nothing.
The first time she hasn't been on pain pills while being HOH, like who knows?
Yeah,
Okay.
Be totally different.
There's 2 cases. I do think Tyler really can. He has the ability to miss her to really push the narrative to get Dani out, but I feel like he might be thinking that reveals way too many cards at this point in this game. Like, if he does manage to get Christmas to put Dani up, I'm pretty sure that's going to completely wipe out Dani, Nicole, and Cody's side of everything. And also, maybe Christmas might think, like, you know, Bay was this close to getting the competition. I don't want to put her up. She's very compassionate and very empathetic. So she might want to save her because of that. I'm hoping maybe that's... I might be shooting for the stars right now. But
Hey, if you shoot for the stars, you might just hit the moon. Remember, from outside the Big Brother house. Okay. All right. Let's take another question. This one is from Amber619. Is there any chance that we see Enzo and Tyler and Christmas Year about backdooring Dani this week? I mean, I think there's a good chance that they're going to try it. The question is just going to be who is able to be the person to have the most influence, who talks to her last even. Okay.
Yeah, I do believe that someone will be influencing Christmas's HOH. I think the question is who and by how much. How much do Tyler and Enzo try to push? Because they've been talking about this all week. They've been talking about it with the Select 5. That is something that they're very interested in. It's to Josh's point, how much are they going to try to push to show their cards that Dani is the one that has to be backdoored?
exactly.
Okay. All right. Potentially, Liana, do you think that a wedding invitation could be on the line if Christmas does not do what somebody's wishes are?
I think that is 100% possible. We're taking the over under. That's 100 for sure. It is the true bargaining chip, the true fire token of this game.
Yeah, Christmas could work her way up to bridesmaid if she plays her cards right this week. All right. This is from Jack D65. Christmas is final 2 with Tyler, isn't she? Will Tyler be okay with her targeting Bay or Day? Will he try to talk her out of it? We could hope so.
I mean, I think he'll definitely try and talk her out of targeting Bay, but
Yeah.
I think if it seems like Christmas is leaning towards Davon, I think Tyler might just let it happen. Just because like he's not so keen on working with Davon just because he thinks that she's paranoid or whatever, or she doesn't trust him, or they have too much tension. But he does want to work with Bailey. So I could see a situation where if he can't get the Dani move, he'd be okay with the Davon move, but he would not be okay with the Bailey move. That's what I think.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think Tyler is a very long-term gamer. Like, he knows he has to set his cards right and knock the domino pieces as slowly as possible. So I don't know if it's in his best interest to go and push for a Danny eviction so fast on a Christmas HOH. That's probably why he like set up his Davon and Bailey cards to really want to target Danny as much as possible, because he wouldn't be expecting Christmas to do it if anything.
Okay. Let's take this question. Matthew Ben Prusky. 2 weeks ago, Janelle, 1 point away from winning HOH. 1 week ago, Kaysar, 1 ball away from winning HOH. Tonight, Day, 1 question away from winning HOH. Why can't we have nice things? Okay. Look, 3 is a trend. Okay. 3 didn't happen yet. Okay. We're only 2 things happen. That's just a coincidence.
Mm-hmm. That's
All
right. That's right. Exactly.
Let's
stay
see.
positive.
We stay positive and stay crushing it also. Okay. All right. There you go.
Stay crushing it.
All right. Chandler says, how come production just won't give us a fan vote so we can get what we want? In the past, production has never shied away from messing with the game. So why not just give us what we want and do it? I already know the BB Basement Powers will be won by the people I don't like.
Let them know.
Yes.
Anyway, it's because we're not Big Brother Canada. That's why. We get that role. Period.
Shots fired.
Oh no, I love Big Brother Canada. Like, as a fan, they're amazing.
Yeah. Well, I talked about this last night, though, that I do feel like that, if Big Brother does like resist the will of the mob, I think the mob goes to the house and yells.
That's right. They get the megaphone, they get the banner playing. They're really just pulling out the stops.
If you don't give us what we want, we'll figure out another way to do it. We'll go there with a bullhorn. We'll get it in a plane. We'll get a drone. We'll figure it out.
We'll go through the sewer, get to the basement. We'll figure it out.
We'll be in the BB
We're
basement.
already in the basement.
We're already there. So either do we do it our way or your way, whatever you want. Okay. All right. Michael says, do you think that Tyler can convince Christmas to target Danny? Yeah, I think we might have discussed
covered this one.
I think
Although,
we covered
I do want to say that I do see the chat is saying like, well, Tyler's saying he wants Bae to go before he doesn't want her in the jury because he thinks she poisoned the jury against him, Big Brother 20. And like, yeah, I saw that conversation, but my thought is that I don't think Tyler wants Bae to go this week. I think there is other people in the house who he thinks he can work with less than Bailey. So I don't think that it's a situation where if Christmas is like, okay, Bailey's it for me, I think he would try and push someone else. I don't think he'd just be okay with letting Bailey go this week. I think there's a possibility that if it seems like Christmas is set on Bailey and Davon going on the block, I think Tyler's not going to be like, no, we can't do it. I think he would be like, okay, but thinking in the back of his mind that there's a backdoor possibility for Danny or for somebody else at this point. So I don't think that Bailey, even though Tyler has discussed like, I don't want her in jury or whatever, I don't think Bailey is his target at this point. So I think there are bigger fish to fry in his mind. So just putting that out there.
Okay. Yes, Josh.
My question is, do you guys not see the case scenario of a David and Kevin nomination? Like, is that not something in a sense in the conversation? No.
Who?
A David and a Kevin nomination?
Well, I mean, it depends who's in her ear, because I don't think Enzo or Tyler or anyone would. I don't think they would want that. I mean, maybe they would want that and then do in order to do a backdoor of someone else. But I don't know if those are like. I don't think they see them as like big threats right now.
So I mean, Christmas had talked about wanting to go after David because David had overheard Christmas saying some things about David, but they've, I think, since squashed that. Also, Christmas has had a conversation with Enzo and Kevin trying to start something with the two of them. And so I don't think she would necessarily want to burn that bridge. And I think that she would want to keep Kevin in their good graces.
Was it Christmas that had a message for somebody after the eviction tonight?
I believe that was Bae and Day who said that they were going to say something to Christmas after the HOH. They were like, oh, we have something to tell you after the HOH.
Maybe you should have told her before.
Probably would have been a good idea.
Okay. All right. Let's take this question. This is from Nate. I know people are hating on her, but can we celebrate Christmas being the first woman to win HOH this season? Only woman to win a comp this season, and now she's won 2.
You know what? Let's give her some claps.
All right. Fine. Okay?
Get out the Christmas tree.
Like, hey, you said you wanted women to win competitions, so
You gotta be more
But not
Better
like
not-
this.
be more careful with what you wish for. Okay.
This is like one of those things where you make a wish and I wish for no wars, no Star Wars, no storage wars, right? You got to be careful with how you phrase your wishes.
Yes, it's a monkey's paw situation.
Monkey's paw.
Yes.
I've already called this monkey's paw all stars.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
And
What
then
is?
we've been wanting all stars for so long, and
Yeah,
now we
what
have
is
the
that
monkey's
thing
paw
called again?
version.
Just throws a monkey in my wrench, or throws a. What's the saying? What is it?
Yeah, monkey's paw ends up. Okay. George Fitzpatrick, other than the BB Basement being a good alternate name for the slop, what powers do you think it will bestow? Have suspicions one of them will be similar to MVP/Roadkill and put up a third nominee? Boy, that'd be pretty lame. That never works out, the third nominee.
It
No.
never does. We
Yeah.
need strong. You
Like,
said
no.
game-changing powers. I want strong stuff. You said you brought all stars. You brought all these people from back in the day when you used to make it real crazy up in the Big Brother house.
Yeah.
Where's the Diamond Power of Vetoes? I want them. I want them
Diamond
all.
Power of Veto. I mean, so if we just think about the timing of this competition, it's going to happen before nominations. I wonder, maybe could it be some sort of like, I feel like the Big Brother always likes to have this in the last couple seasons, some sort of like nightmare power where it's like you can change the HOH's nominations is something that they've done a lot recently.
That's iconic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know how many other game-changing powers there might be in the works.
Define game changing.
Yeah, I feel like Big Brother
Yeah.
says a lot of stuff is game changing, but really it's like a slot pass.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's take another question from Denise Graves. Why is Dani projecting what she is on to Kaysar? In the words of one lucky gay, girl, bye.
Girl, bye.
Yes.
Period.
All right. This is upset. And then Jennifer Valenti,
Wait,
the
so
over-under.
you already did.
High school pal of Rob
Yes,
Cesternino.
yes. That was a different Jen Valenti. What's the possibility of Tyler missing Christmas? I think it's possible.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I
Do you
think we should talk through it.
Yeah.
Can we go through the
Yes,
options
yes,
of
I
whether
think
or not that might happen?
I
don't
think
know.
we got that. I think
Oh,
we got
okay.
that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Scott. Do we have any questions that are not about Dani
about
trying to get on the block from Tyler? Okay. All right. That's it. That's it for questions.
He's like, no, there's not.
no more
And,
questions.
like, just
That's
end the
fine.
show.
Okay. All right. Anything else to discuss while we're here tonight?
So, there's something that I wanted to bring up, and Melissa, you might have clarity on this. So, I was seeing something that there was indeed a banner plane that happened Tuesday around 7 p.m. Big Brother time. And then I know Kevin was referring to a banner plane that said Nicole was a liar. Because you can see at around 6:52 p.m. I believe on Tuesday, Tyler looks up. There's sort of the sound of a plane. I don't know if that's something that actually happened.
Yeah, I don't think any of us know if it actually happened. I think that there is evidence to point to it happening, but nothing that confirms it. People are saying a banner plane, they're saying I mean, Tyler could have been looking up at a bird, there was no guarantee, but it does make for a compelling video where it's look, this is where he sees the plane, and then Tyler kind of smiles a little and then looks down. It's that would be interesting, but I don't know for sure. I am inclined to think that it's possible, but I mean, a banner plane's expensive. I don't know if people are willing to go to that effort when they could just grab a bullhorn and go into the LA River and just yell, but
Melissa, next time that you miss an LC roundtable, could you send your rankings in by banner plane past Karen's window?
It's a little out of my budget, I think, but
Okay.
I can make an effort.
All right. Okay.
Or by Bird, right? Wasn't it Grandpa Lou who it could have been Grandpa Lou
Please.
back in the
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Back.
true.
Okay.
But also I feel let me just say, if there was a banner plane and if the banner plane did say Nicole is a liar, we already know. We already said Danny and Nicole are playing it, or Cody and Nicole are playing everybody. couldn't there have been something else? Like, do we need an additional banner plane to go and tell the same exact thing? Like, there's got to be something else.
They really have to coordinate.
Vandy Dandy in the chat says it's very affordable. So I haven't checked.
Wow,
Has anybody
interesting.
priced into banner planes lately? Could we get a banner plane that says, watch Rob has a podcast, and like, hey, what does that banner plane say? Watch Rob has a podcast. Oh, okay. Boom. There you go.
I like it.
Get the word out to
Free
all the people
publicity.
the live feeders.
Viral marketing. That's the
Or
way
not
to
free
go.
publicity. I guess it's paid publicity.
Yes,
Either way.
but it's very affordable publicity. Okay.
Very affordable.
Okay. Liana, anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's it. We didn't talk about Danny the gardener. I don't know if that's relevant. Will that be her comic book name, perhaps? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's good. I could see it.
That's happening. They're saving that.
Yeah. Okay. Josh, do you have any other thoughts about the season?
No, this is not good. Not good thoughts at all.
We're 1 month in.
Yeah, this was not exactly how I expected the game to go, but I'm not necessarily surprised. Big Brother always has a narrative of going the way I never wanted to go, but it still goes that way. And I do think though that hey, there's still high hopes. I feel like Tyler is on the track to. He's kind of the only saving grace for this season, and if he wins, I gotta be happy about it, I guess. So
yeah.
Other than that, no.
We'll see. I do think that Tyler has, a chance to work some magic this week. I just think that it might not be in terms of the nominations. I think that we're going to be all paying close attention to that veto competition on Saturday. So don't be surprised if there is some sort of subterfuge going on. It'll be by way of the back door this week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about what else is going on here on RHAP. Oh, look what's back. 90 Day Fiance. I believe is it the other way? Is it Leon, do you know, is it the finale this week?
So there is the mid-season finale for The Other Way because COVID-19 got in the way. And so I think that they weren't able to finish the season the way they wanted. So we're taking a little bit of a stop down for The Other Way.
Okay. All right. Puya is going to be back with Sasha Joseph on that. And then on the Mole Patrol, we're going to have Josh and Jess and Brooklyn Zed back again as they go through their rewatch of The Mole. First time through for Josh Wigler on Mole Patrol. Then, look, The Bachelor is continuing its greatest seasons ever with Amy and Haley. Check that out on our RHAPups feed for that. And then Tough as Nails finale recap with Phil Kogan. Yes, Phil. We checked in with Phil about the exciting finish to Tough as Nails. Josh, have you looked at Tough as Nails?
No, I was gonna ask, is it really good? Because I keep seeing the commercials.
You know what? I would say that it's not trashy. If that's your flavor of reality TV, that's not as good. But it's wholesome.
Aww.
Okay.
Yeah, I like trashy. Never mind.
Yeah, there's some good, compelling characters on Tough as Nails. Okay. Exit interview coming up tomorrow morning. We'll speak with Kaysar and see what he has to say about everything in the Big Brother house. And then check out Friday morning. It's a Puya Friday coming up. Check out what is going to be going on in the Big Brother house overnight and what Christmas is leaning towards doing with her HOH nominations. That's going to be coming up on Friday morning. We do those live feed updates we do the exit interview right before the live feed update. So give Taryn and Puya a couple extra minutes there in the morning to get started. Of course, all this podcasting made possible by the patrons of Rob Has a Podcast. I was live right before the episode tonight with our first ever BB Eviction pregame show. That was earlier tonight. Took calls from the patrons of Rob's Podcast. I'll be coming on an hour before Big Brother Eviction night to take calls from the patrons to get you ready for Thursday night. Unfortunately, the Ian HOH people were trying to manifest did not happen tonight. So maybe we could try harder next week on the Big Brother pregame show for the patrons of Rob Has a Podcast. By the way, Patreon has also just unlocked a feature for an annual membership where if you become a Patreon on an annual membership that you pay for 11 months and get one free over at robhasawebsite.com. patreon. And of course, check us out on social media. We've been trying to share more and more clips from the episodes on our social platforms. That's Rob Has a Podcast on Twitter, RHAP Grams on Instagram, and our Facebook page, Rob Has a Podcast. All right. Lots of fun here tonight. Josh, this was so fun to get the podcast with you.
Absolutely. I had such a blast, you guys. This was so much fun. I couldn't help but smile. Sorry if I didn't talk much, you guys. You guys are all very beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay. Don't hear that on a
you.
podcast too often. All
You're
right.
welcome.
We have to have this guy back. Okay.
I'm looking at you.
No, Josh, I love your energy and your excitement. So it's great to have you on here with us. Where can people check out more of what you're doing?
Well, absolutely, guys. I am right here. Joshio JW. I put the dot there. Ignore the dot. Yeah, I'm on Twitter. And
Josh CEO JW.
yes, exactly.
You're a CEO.
Yes.
Wow.
Land.
Yes.
Self-proclaimed CEO. I mean, not yet, but hey, sometimes you got to give your own titles in life. All right.
Yeah. That's like an Enzo nickname of this guy. He's the CEO.
The CEO. Yeah, I would be so good in his alliance, bro. Like me and Enzo sitting down in a back. He's the Mau, I'm the Cow.
The cow.
Yeah, we just be doing.
That's
the
how you
pow.
pronounce CEO. Yeah.
The cow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right. Josh, really fun to have you on here with us, and looking forward to having you back. Okay. Of course, Liana, that you'll be back with the B&B drag race this weekend too.
Yes, that's right. So we have the finale of Canada's Drag Race. So we're going to be wrapping things up with Beth and Amon to talk about that. And of course, Mike and I will be doing the RHAP B&B, getting into, we got a lot of silliness to talk about this week.
Yes.
And I'll be doing the morning update with Taryn as well. You can find me on Twitter at Liana. All right, that's right, Liana Saturday. Follow him Puya Friday. And you can follow me on Twitter at Liana RHAP.
Okay. And then Melissa, you'll be back on the round table this week.
Yes, and I apologize already to all of you guys because I didn't get to go on the round table this week, so I just spew out everything. Usually on the round table, I get to just rant for the first half, but I kind of took over a little bit, so I apologize. But I have a lot of thoughts. So.
Melissa, let me ask you about a couple things quick.
Yes.
That normally you're the voice of the people on the LFC roundtable, but this week that your ratings and the viewers did not match up. That you feel like has that title gone to somebody else?
It better not. I think that I'm the voice of the correct people, and usually it matches up, but this week it didn't. And I stand by my ratings. I really, even after watching the roundtable and hearing people tweet at me, or I guess seeing people tweet at me that I was wrong and why I was wrong, I still think I'm right. So, I don't know. I that's the way I saw it this week. So
that's the way.
That's the way
you called it.
That's the way I call it like I see it, and that's how I saw it. Sorry.
Okay.
That's one period.
All right, and then I want to ask you to respond to one other thing. I saw this on Twitter today that Andy Herron had said on Twitter. Did you see this already? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I did see that.
Yeah.
It was such a
he said,
surprise.
I truly adore every RHAP live feed correspondent. They balance one another out perfectly and are also fun to listen to and knowledgeable of the game. With that being said, after much thought, Melissa is my favorite. This is a Melissa Deni appreciation tweet.
I couldn't believe it. And he didn't tag me in it, so I didn't see it for a while. I just was what's going on? All of a sudden, people started tagging me in something he did, and I was like, what's this? And it was very, very sweet. And I appreciate it, and I love Andy, and he's so funny on Twitter, and I can't wait to meet him in real life, hopefully at some point.
Okay. Well, I just hope that you keep saying what he likes, otherwise that you could lose the title.
Otherwise, I lose it. Exactly. So, I'm gonna check in with him before
first
the podcast.
Voice of the people, then maybe Andy Herron. You could lose that too.
I don't want to lose any of it. Please no.
All right. Well, this was very fun here tonight. Again, hopefully next week on Thursday we won't have to do more counseling of look, all right, this looks bad. This looks bad this week. Yes. Okay. Devon just left. Things are looking rough.
Please, no.
Don't worry. It can't get worse.
This Nicole
we'll be
there's a silver lining here somewhere.
Oh my God. We'll literally be like, look, this is the worst it can get. It can't get any worse than this. And we'll keep saying that week after week.
Melissa, I wake up every single morning and tell myself that, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. Okay.
All right. That's the way to do it, I think. At this
Yesterday
point.
was bad. I didn't think it would be that bad. Today is going to turn around today. All right.
It will turn around for us. It will.
Thank you so much for listening. Thanks so much, Scott St. Pierre behind the scenes. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.